Okay, so this summer we've been going through the book of Genesis, which has been pretty cool. A lot of stories that you might remember from Sunday school, but it's amazing to go back as an adult and to review them and to really see the applications, even for our lives as adults. Because, guess what? People are the same. Doesn't matter which century you go to or which continent you go to, people are the same. They have the same desires, the same hopes, they have the same fears, they have the same struggles with sin. And we all have the same Creator and Savior, God. Now, today we're on the story of Leah and Rachel. We've been Abraham, Isaac, now we're at Jacob. Jacob is at the age he's looking for a wife. Look at Leah and Rachel coming into the picture. And I want you to just turn, if you came with somebody today, if you came to church with another person, turn to the person you came with and ask them, do you remember where we met? Anybody remember where you met? Yeah, maybe it was at the hospital for your child. Yeah? If you came here alone, you can meet somebody today. It would be a great time. That's kind of what the story's on. I met Christy at a gym. She was fitness places. She was doing the little orientation on the weight machines. Like some 7-foot guy had been on the machine before she got to it. So it was all out of, she's not that tall. Vertically challenged, we say. And she was struggling. I was kind of jogging. I was like, I walked up. Can I help you with those weights? And there you go. Perfect pickup line. Daniel, write it down. You never know. Can I help you with those weights? And the rest is, well, that's what happened. This today's story is about the very first meeting between Jacob and Rachel. When Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of his uncle Laban, and he saw Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. Then Jacob kissed Rachel. That's bold. I didn't do that the first time. And he began to weep aloud. Okay. And a little over the top there, maybe. To really understand what he's doing here when he rolled the stone away, let me go back to the first verse here in chapter 29, just real quick. So, this is the beginning of the chapter. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the open country with 3 flocks of sheep lying near it because the flocks were watered from that well. The stone over the mouth of the well was what? Is large. So when all of the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds of all these flocks would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water their sheep, and then all of them would return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. We see what Jacob did, right? He kind of walked up, he saw Rachel. Hey, you got your sheep, Dad? Your dad's sheep need to be watered? Watch this. You don't need to wait for all those other shepherds to show up. He's kind of, let me get that rock for you. Showing off just a little bit. And of course he turns around and kisses her and just sweeps her off her feet. This is what some people call a meetcute. Are you familiar with that phrase? Some people, no? Okay. Well, it's a serendipitous meeting of 2 people for the first time. A meetcute. It is a standard for romantic comedies, like rom-coms. Okay, here's a very famous meet-cute. You know which movie this is? Sleepless in Seattle. Yes. Sleepless in Seattle. And it's the kid who arranges this very first time meeting between his dad and this kind of pen pal type relation. So it's the meet-cute. Here's another one. This is a less popular movie. Anybody know this one? Yes, Serendipity. I like this movie. I like John Cusack too. So anyway, they go to buy the same pair of gloves for Christmas Eve, and it's Meetcute. And then there's one probably you remember. What movie is this? 101 Dalmatians. And it's the dogs that set up the Meetcute, right? So Jacob is thinking, hey, this is the Meetcute of all Meetcutes. I mean, wowzers, right? It's love at first sight. Right? The heart's going pitter-patter. This is amazing. So, as soon as Laban, her dad, heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him into his home. And there, Jacob told him all these things. So he's like, you're not going to believe this. This is amazing. I was just walking along, minding my own business, and boom, there she was. Right? It was just meant to be. Love at first sight. Now, the very first thing I want you to grab hold of and keep a hold of through this whole thing, because it's going to get a little more difficult in the story, but the first thing we want to remember is that relationships are God's idea. Relationships are God's idea. The little pitter-patter of the heart, the little butterflies in the stomach, the weak in the knees, the little heel pop. This God created all of this. This is good stuff. Romance, God created all of this. God created relationships. It's all good stuff. Right? And here's the verse, the go-to, right? In Genesis 2, God said, it's not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. God knows that it's good. We know that it's good. But sometimes we get our priorities mixed up. There's another rom-com, Jerry Maguire. Remember that movie? What's the famous line? Oh, show me the money. No, that'll be the stewardship sermon next week. No. Jerry finally gets it at the end of the movie, and he's trying to explain how he feels about her. And finally, he just says, "You complete me." Oh, everybody say, "Oh, yeah." This is not true. God is the only thing that can complete us. Relationships are good. Friendships, family relationships, romantic, all relationships are good. But when we mix our priorities up, when we think we can find our identity in our relationship rather than our identity in God, it's not going to work. We are actually, it's idolatry, because we're looking for something in creation that can only be provided by the Creator. So we can turn our relationship even into an idolatrous thing. Good things, if they're in the wrong priority, can be hurtful. Relationships, often thought as binary. Two people have a relationship. I just read a book, Edwin Friedman, a psychologist, talked about a two-person relationship is actually very unstable. It always takes a third, either person, party, a third interest. It can be an issue, it can be an activity, it can be a third person. But that's where you get the triangulation in relationships. Won't go down that road today, but the point is, if we're just focusing on the other person, I'll do this for you if you do that for me. Right? Rather than turning our gaze upward and making God that third point of our triangle, of our relationship, to give us that strength, to give us that focus, to give us the right priorities. And we can't look for something that only God can provide in anything else, anyone else. So, moving on. So now Laban has 2 daughters. The plot thickens. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. That's who Jacob ran into, Rachel. Well, Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel had a lovely figure and was beautiful. Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, I'll work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter, Rachel. Now, the Bible just lays it out, okay? It doesn't pull any punches, whatever chapter you're reading. So, weak eyes. Remember I said you're a sight for sore eyes? Have you ever heard the phrase, well, she's easy on the eyes, right? Okay, well, Leah was not easy on the eyes, okay? Did you understand what? Leah was not easy on the eyes. She was sore on the eyes. And look at the contrast, right? But Rachel had a lovely figure. She was beautiful. See the contrast? So Leah was like, and then Rachel was like, oh. So there they are. And Jacob's like, I'll work for you 7 years if I can marry Rachel. And so Laban is like, hey, it's better I give her to you than some other man. Stay here with me. So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Now everybody say, oh. Yeah. I have the same love for Christy. I remove reptiles and other dead animals from our pool skimmer, and it just seems like nothing to me because I'm so in love. Yeah, not always. Because here's the second reality. Relationships are gifts from God, but because we are who we are, sin exists in relationships. In my relationships, in your relationships, in all relationships, sin exists. And because sin exists in all relationships, we need, in the triangle, we need God. We need Jesus in all relationships. So, this is what happened. After 7 years, this is where sin comes into the picture. After 7 years, it's the morning of the wedding, when Jacob thinks to beautiful Rachel. When morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you," what? "Deceived me." Now, we don't have any deception going on in families today, but, this is an ancient story, right? And think about Jacob. Remember Jacob's story from, a couple weeks ago? What did Jacob do? He deceived his dad, didn't he, to get the inheritance. Now the deceiver is being deceived. He pulled one over on his dad, now his uncle's pulling one over on him. What is going on? So Laban replied, "It's not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one also, in return for another 7 years of work." And it doesn't say, but it seemed like nothing because he was a little more disgruntled at this point. Now, I just got to take a quick tangent, just a quick segue here. Because when I read this story, I kind of get distracted at this point, and so maybe you are too. Jacob had 2 wives? Wait a second. Can we do that? Is that a thing? No, it's not. When you're reading the Bible, one of the key things when you're studying the Bible on your own is to identify what is descriptive, what is a passage that's describing something to you, and what is prescriptive, where God is telling you to do something. Like, go and make disciples of all nations. Baptize, that's a prescription. That's something we're supposed to. This is a description. And basically what it's saying is, yeah, Jacob married 2 girls, and look what a mess it made of everything. Right? A lot of times we look at these heroes of the faith, these Bible characters, and we think, oh, wow, if I just had, faith like that, if I just lived my life like that, if I was committed, to God like they are, whoo! No. People are the same everywhere. They struggle with sin. And the whole point of all of these stories is to watch how Jesus breaks into their life to fix them, to restore them, to forgive them, to bring them back into a good relationship with God and each other. So that's my little tangent. Next. Here's the big point. A misplaced desire desires more. A misplaced desire, remember, looking this way instead of up. A misplaced desire always desires more. It's never going to be satisfied. So let's look at what Leah and Rachel desire just as examples. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, "It is because the Lord has seen my misery. Surely my husband will love me now." What does Leah desire? Yeah, love, her husband's love. Now, again, it's a good thing to desire love, and it is beyond painful to be in a loveless marriage. But when your priorities are out of order, you're never going to have enough. It's never going to be enough, that idol, whatever it is. Leah went on to have 4 sons. Reuben, which means I'm seen. Simeon, I'm heard. Levi, I'm attached. And then finally, Judah, I will praise God. And it's actually through Judah where God honors Leah, because through the tribe of Judah, the line of Judah, where the Messiah comes. Leah desired the love. What does Rachel desire? She saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, and she became jealous of her sister. So she said to Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." What did Rachel desire? Children. I'll die. It's a good desire. It's a good thing. It's a gift from God. When it takes the priority over what should be first, it's trouble. It will never satisfy. I could fill in the blank at this point. You could fill in the blank. What is the desire of your heart right now that is taking priority over what should be the most important thing? Jesus said, "But seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. And all these things you chase after, you think you need, you think you want, you think will complete you, right? You get it, and you realize, oh, that didn't do it. And so you think, well, maybe I need a little bit more of it. Or maybe there's just something else. I need to try something else." Jesus says, seek the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these other things are going to be taken care of. You have to realize that I have enough because I have Jesus. It's not going to be another relationship or a better relationship. It's not going to be another job or a better job. It's not going to be a status or acknowledgement. It's not going to be health. It's Jesus and Jesus alone that completely satisfies. This word seek in the Greek means to search for, to desire, to require, to demand. It's this passionate desire to just want, have, hold, keep. And it's really, really cool when God uses the word to talk about us. Jesus said, "For the Son of Man came to" what? Seek, desire, demand, and to save the lost. How much does God desire you? Well, he sent his Son to die on the cross in our place so we could be with him forever. He desires you more than anything else in the world. And not the future version of you, not the improved version of you, the you right now, where you are. God desires you desperately. God help us to remember that, be thankful for that, and to seek him first and foremost in our lives too. Amen.